أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي واجعلني وزيرا من أهلي هارون أخي أشدد به أزري وأشركه في أمري كي نسبحك كثيرا ونذكرك كثيرا إنك كنت بنا بصيرا ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم وصلى اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Assalamu alaikum everyone. Thank you. Slight delay, sorry about that. Inshallah. So we're going to continue with the 10th word, which we started last week, about resurrection and the hereafter. And the verse that we were focusing on was what is highlighted: in the name of God, the compassionate, the merciful. Look then to the signs of God's mercy. So look at the signs. Look then to the signs of God's mercy, how he restores life to the earth after its death. How he restores life to the earth after its death. Verily, he it is who quickens the dead, for he is powerful over all things. So we started discussing this in terms of how all the signs that we see in the universe and creation shows that there's an owner to this universe. If we look at it carefully, observe how the things are happening, what our existence means. As we know, this author has been taking us on a journey. We've been discussing a few things, like we started from the reading in the name of God, the most gracious, the merciful, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, and how everything comes into existence, emanates from his command, from his will. The whole existence is given by someone, cannot just be randomly. Nothing in this world just happens to be like it, but there is some source which we concluded to be an absolute source that is giving existence. And now here again, the author is preparing our minds on how, when we think about or look at resurrection and hereafter, is it really needed? Is it really necessary? And can it be done? Or is this just life like this, the way it is, temporary, and there is something that is lacking? And do we feel the need for hereafter? Something we can wonder about: do I need that? Hey, this is, or am I pretty much happy here, and can I live happily ever after in this world? Is it possible? Can anybody say that I can live forever in this world? So there was a little story that was shared by the author. It was a very simple but kind of a deep meaning in terms of, as the two men, we kind of discussed traveling through a land that's basically us, and how we perceive and see the world, as if, are we free to do whatever we want, or we have to be mindful and use our human qualities, our consciousness, and recognize that there is an owner. Can we say that no, it is basically there is no, who is the king here? I can't see him, so is that some excuse that human beings can make? So there was one who was deemed to be empty-headed, like not reasoning or not thinking in terms of who the actual owner of this universe is, and stealing in the sense of not recognizing. So he saw that, there's nobody watching over things, and everything is just there up for grabs, it's all free. And the story is written in that way, but the meaning behind it is more from the existential point of view, as if when you look at the universe and the things that you enjoy, the things you eat and the acts that you do, maybe you're playing, you're working, whatever you're doing, you utilize many things, including your own being, your own tools, your senses, your eyes, your ears, everything gets used. And we also discussed in the previous verse what it means to sell the property back to its owner. And here again, it's again a reminder for us that all these things that we are using have an owner, and every act that we do has a consequence, is accounted for. So the most we make of our existence here, the more we are conscious of what we are doing, the more we will be in good, basically more satisfied and more fulfilling our purpose. And we discussed the first two aspects, and basically the need for a Supreme Tribunal, like so splendid and possible any kingdom, particularly splendid a kingdom as this, that there should be no reward for those who serve obediently and no punishment for those who rebel. So reward and punishment are virtually non-existent here. So we kind of discussed that last time, that this is more in terms of the recognition of our Lord, that there is an owner to the things that we are doing. And can somebody who is always incognizant or things are randomly happening, and somebody who realizes or recognizes that there's a Lord, can they be the same? Should they be treated the same? And then we discussed also the oppressor and the oppressed. Can this oppressor be treated the same way as would there be a need for justice? Or although in this world we may get some partial justice, but there is the true justice that human beings demand, and that is what the Supreme Tribunal would be. So that was kind of the recap of what we kind of discussed last time. And of course, if anybody would like to add or share anything, I would be glad to hear your comments also. You are free to put it on the chat, or you're free to raise your hand as well. Faria, would you like to add anything?
I think just pretty much summarizing what you said in terms of the acknowledgement side of the human being. So definitely we see that every act here must have an actor, the universe must have an author, and then we can really in detail apply the case to ourselves. And so I don't know, I was just think to myself, and I'll just say it out loud, the question we should be asking is really, am I stealing? How much am I stealing of the property of the owner of this universe? Because I know it may sound funny, but it's actually a very serious matter, because we don't own anything in terms of everything is given. Even this brand new day that's given to us or anything. So I think the reward and punishment that he mentioned is really when I acknowledge and recognize that anything that I'm utilizing, be it water, be it just sitting down and sharing some thoughts with some people and friends, like all of this, all of this must have an author, must have an owner. It's just not a random act. So just recognizing this piece, because we all enjoy utilizing the universe, but how much am I recognizing the real owner of everything is the question we should be asking ourselves.
Thank you, Faria, for that addition. Okay, so if there's no other comment, we can start with the third aspect. So Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, the third aspect. See with what lofty and see with what lofty wisdom and ordering affairs are managed, and with what true justice and balance transactions are effected. Now, a wise polity requires that those who seek refuge under the protecting wing of the state should receive favor, and justice demands that the rights of subjects be preserved, so that the splendor of the state should not suffer. But here in this land, on earth, not a thousandth part of the requirements of such wisdom and justice is fulfilled. For example, empty-headed people, such as yourself, usually leave this realm unpunished. So again, we say matters are postponed for the consideration of a Supreme Tribunal. So this is a short third aspect, and it's all really building upon the concept of this need for a Supreme Tribunal. Because what we're seeing here are the signs of, as we said, to recognize that there is an owner to the things. And we saw that all the different qualities and names, they are always manifesting at different places at the same time. I mean, different kind of qualities. Where was that? In the second, there was something. Yeah, so generosity requires liberality, compassion requires beneficence, awesomeness, and honor make it imperative that the discourteous be chastised. Right. Honor make it imperative that the discourteous be chastised. So all these qualities, everything, and generosity is to be seen in this realm. So we see glimpses of different qualities being manifested: generosity, awesomeness, beauty, power, everything we are observing, which tells us there is an owner to the things that we see. But let's say if I am happy for some moment, is that enough for me to be happy at that moment? I mean, I look for permanent happiness. So there is a need for me to not just, let's say I'm with my friends here enjoying, and that makes me happy, but that's a temporary moment. And what my feelings tell me, hey, I want to be like this in a happy state for the rest of my life. And even that is not enough. I want to be happy even, I just don't want to lose my existence. This is if I really contemplate on my being, my life, what everything is happening, what I'm going through. It shows me, if I contemplate on it, that this is something that is given to me, and my feelings also talk to me, tell me that all these things that you're experiencing must be forever. And the signs in the universe show me that, there is wisdom, things are being managed, the sun is rising, and the sunshine is spreading through, the night comes for the rest, the wind is coming, the snow happens, rain happens, clouds are moving, birds are chirping, the fish are swimming, things are all, bees are swarming here and there. Everything is just continuously moving, and shows that there's like armies of things that are going here and there, like just obedient, beings following the order of whoever is commanding them. So there is that really lofty wisdom and ordering of affairs which are going on in the universe. And everything shows the signs of justice and balance. Transactions are taking into effect. Right, so the proper rotation of the earth, the phases of the moons in a particular calculated way. Even our schedules are all calculated according to the way the day has been set up for us. Who is setting up the day for us? So something has been setting up, and we organize our lives accordingly to that particular moments and hours of the day. So for here, you want to add something?
Yeah, thank you for sharing this. Very helpful, and also makes me draws one's attention to how the author is framing this as well, in terms of, however, empty-headed people such as, I would say myself, usually leave this realm unpunished. And still, I think this whole point about we all desire justice, we all want mercy, but sometimes it's not apparent. And yeah, that's the reality of this existence is things sometimes are not that obvious. And we find ourselves, oh, this is not fair. Oh, he did that. Oh, she did that. That was, we find ourselves in that kind of state of mind. But what the author is drawing our attention here is that everything has a purpose. I was thinking in terms of when we're driving, let's say on the highway, and then somebody just speed up or just passes by without paying dues. We say, oh my God, that's unfair. Me too. I'm running late. Look at this guy. Nobody catches him. But you know what? At the end of the month or something, you do end up getting something in the mail that, hey, we caught you, right? So I think the same goes on with our transactions here in terms of how much am I really aware that it's a deliberate setup by a conscious being, by a really interesting author who knows each and every move of each and every one of us, like you were awesome. You were sharing about the measurement of the scheduling as well. It's mind-boggling if we start like thinking on that spectrum as well. So just wanted to bring that to our attention. Thanks.
Sure, thank you. Brother Ali, please go ahead.
Thank you. As an addition to what's said, they are, mashallah, very, very good, very useful to hear. I would say about the way the things are created in a wise way, with wisdom and orderly. It's obvious to see that whatever is created in the universe, whatever they deserve, there is a very famous expression in Islamic tradition which is used: everything is given what it deserves to have. For example, look at the animal kingdom. The best example is the babies, baby of all creatures. For example, baby of the honey bees, human beings, and the cats, dogs, and other all sorts of animals. They are created in a completely weak way. They need to be taken care of 100%. All their needs are totally dependent on something else. We see that why the creator is not really creating them, since he is later on creating them in a way that they can sustain their life. But why in the beginning it is created in this way? They are poor, they need to be taken care of. But we see that the babies created and the wild animal, it is mother, father, wild animal, they find something, well, totally attack on it and eat it. But when it comes to their baby, they are crazy about its protection. That is the balance. That is I think we understand justice is given in the creation itself. So the creation is realized in a just way. And also another example that now I'm passing to another aspect of the matter. For example, if a person, a musician is performing on the stage, his or her perfect whatever they present, their music, song, whatever it is, the audience is not really appreciating it. What do? They don't do it again. They will just leave the stage and go and take care of their own business. It is not appreciated. It is taken away. So the music or the song is not presented, not performed. Why? It needs to be appreciated as they deserve to be appreciated. So the universe is perfectly manifesting in its existence the perfect justice, wisdom, and a balance. All these activities are perfectly adjusted. Every creature is given whatever they need. For example, human beings need light in order to see and exercise their power of sight. It is created there. Whatever human beings wonder about some things, and of course, we are able to understand what is going on in the universe and try to understand, make sense of the meaning in the existence, and also communicate within ourselves. They are all possible for us perfectly in a balanced and justice way, in a justice way. If we don't appreciate these perfect manifestations of uh, justice and balance in the universe, in the order of the universe, I think we will not deserve at all to be presented this universe, this kind of creation again, because performance is not appreciated. It is within human nature that, for example, if I speak here, I'm speaking for myself, and all of you is just knowing and not paying attention, speaking with each other. What should I do? What am I expected to do? Stop speaking, right? It is what human beings are given this kind of senses. Why these senses given to human beings? In order to understand that I must perform my duty within this universe. I have to appreciate the demonstration of justice, demonstration of balance, demonstration of wisdom, and the demonstration of perfect order in the universe. If I don't do that, I will be treated in a just way. The performance will not be given to me again. That's it. That is hell, isn't it? So we don't see hell here. I didn't appreciate the creation today, and it is here. It is continuing. It is still being demonstrated, performed in front of my eyes, my mind, my all human feelings. It is out there, and I see that it is not right. As long as I stop appreciating the wisdom of the qualities, I should be punished immediately because the performance must be stopped. But it doesn't stop. What is going on then? Everything is created in a just manner, perfectly, but only the human beings' unjust activities are not treated within a perfect justice in this world. A little bit with the human beings, the feelings of human beings, we feel not satisfied, but no, the manifestation, the performance is still going on out there. I should be, I should deserve to be punished here, but it doesn't occur here. What does it mean? Human beings start saying that, oh, there's everywhere the justice is manifesting, but not in this field, in this area. as far as the human relationship with the creation, human relationship with the meaning of the creation, human relationship with the author of the meaning of the creation are concerned, we are not really properly, in a satisfactory way, treated in a just way. We are still given favor, favor upon favor, mercy upon mercy, forgiving, opportunity upon opportunity. If I continue like this, if I don't really, as the author says, empty-headed man, he's speaking to me. So if I don't really still pay attention to it, definitely I must be taken to a really the Supreme, this is here, the small court here, Supreme Tribunal, whatever it is, tribunal, whatever, however you pronounce it, tribunal, I think. So I have to take into that. And I must be asked what you have done, all the opportunities that your creator has provided, the creator of the universe has provided for you. You just wasted. It is very important. We have to understand the waste in this sense as well, in the practical way, wasting something. But at the same time, wasting the purpose of the creation is the most important waste in the Quranic concept, within the Quranic concept, musrif. It was by the way, I will just repeat myself again. Wasting, being wasteful, is the very primary characteristics of the most horrible human being, example of the most horrible human being in the Quran, who is Pharaoh. Pharaoh's first description in the Quran is he was from among the wasteful people, wasting the universe, wasting his human qualities, just using on the opposite direction. So it is just an example, it's a really metaphor of a very wrong person, symbolic teaching of the Quran, very better example. So God is not accusing us directly. He gives an example. He says, take your lesson from it. Put yourself into it. Are you wasting as well? It's a beautiful way of preparation. Anyway, the Quran is teaching us. Alhamdulillah. Thank you very much. No.
Thank you, Brother Ali.
No,
Would you like
what
to
is
continue?
that? No. What is, said something wrong. Just a minute. Oh, excuse me.
Okay, thank you, Brother Ali, for your comments. One of the examples kind of that you shared about if you're speaking, it reminded me of Ariel also about the American high school system. How the teacher is speaking, probably mostly in the cities. And, it's expected of the students to be paying attention, but the scenario is kind of different. And that is what the human beings being empty-headed is kind of implying also, that there are things going on in the universe. I'm being introduced to all sorts of qualities, wisdom, the ordering of affairs, and the justice and balance of transactions are continuously taking place, and they require that I pay attention to them. And the wastefulness starts from there, when I do not pay attention to all those things. But they keep on continuing. That's the thing. The beauty is, hey, pay attention. At some point, you may understand what's going on. Pay attention to all those qualities that are being manifested continuously. All right, so if anybody else would like to comment on this third aspect, anything. And there's also this point about, something that is well administered, and if like a political party or anything, if you take refuge under that particular party, And you expect that there should be favor and justice to the members of that. So what about the owner of the universe? You know, there is, it would be like very strange and weird that the one who is showing me all these signs, all these orderings, harmony, that is arrangement that is happening in a very proper, orderly fashion, and the qualities that I deem necessary and I enjoy them, you know, if that doesn't happen. All right, so let's maybe move on to the fourth aspect. Unless somebody wants to add anything, you are free to do so. So the fourth aspect, look at these innumerable and peerless jewels that are displayed here. Look at these innumerable and peerless jewels that are displayed here, these unparalleled dishes laid out like a banquet. They demonstrate that the ruler of these lands is possessed of infinite generosity. They demonstrate that the ruler of these lands is possessed of infinite generosity and an inexhaustible treasury. Now, such generosity and such a treasury deserve and require a bounteous display that should be eternal and include all possible objects of desire. A bounteous display that should be eternal and include all possible objects of desire. They further require that all who come as guests to partake of that display should be there eternally and not suffer the pain of death and separation. For just as the cessation of pain is pleasurable, so too is the cessation of pleasure painful. That's an interesting statement. For just as the cessation of pain is pleasurable, so when the pain is gone, it feels very good, it's pleasurable, so too is the cessation of pleasure. When your happiness is gone, it becomes painful. Of pleasure is painful. Look at, oops, what did I go? Look at these displays. Look at these displays and the announcements concerning them, and listen to these heralds proclaiming the fine and delicate arts of a miracle-working monarch and demonstrating his perfections. They are declaring his peerless and invisible beauty, and speaking of the subtle manifestations of his hidden beauteousness. So look at these displays and the announcements concerning them, and listen to these heralds proclaiming the fine and delicate arts of a miracle-working monarch and demonstrating his perfections. So all those displays and announcements are declaring his peerless and invisible beauty and speaking of the subtle manifestations of his hidden beauteousness. He must be possessed then of a great and astounding invisible beauty and perfection. This flawless hidden perfection requires one who will appreciate and admire it, who will gaze on it, exclaiming, MashaAllah, glory be to God, thus displaying it and making it known. So I think this paragraph, I think this is basically, let's see what it says again. So basically look at the signs and the peerless jewels, dishes that are laid out like a banquet. So basically live your life in a meaningful way. and see what those signs, that whatever you are delving into, whatever you're looking into, what do they tell you? It shows you that the ruler of these lands is possessed of infinite generosity and an inexhaustible treasury. Do we see that? That's something that we need to reflect on, that in our day-to-day, try to do that as much as possible, to see that whatever we're doing, whatever we are engaging with, do we recognize the owner? First of all, that's the owner. Is this happening, existing by itself, or there's an owner to it? So with his permission, am I engaging with the things I am engaging with? Do I have his permission? And then what does this thing that I'm engaging with tell me about whoever the owner, whoever gave me that permission? Is he entertaining me, showing me how kind he is, how generous, what different treasures he possesses, all the different goods and bounties? And now such kind of infinite generosity and treasury deserve and require a bounteous display. So basically there's a need for the things that are out there to be displayed, that should be eternal and include all possible objects of desire. So the thing that all these qualities that are there are displayed. So let's imagine like an artwork or something. Somebody has an art and it's beautiful to look at. I mean, I cannot hide that artwork because I need to show it and it needs to be displayed. So that art, has to be displayed. That's a requirement. And of course, all this generosity and this benevolence, these gifts, do we want them for only like an hour or two, or for a day, and then the rest we are deprived of it? Or do we want to have them for eternal? So whoever possesses infinite must be able to display that infinitely. It's a logical conclusion that the qualities I seek, if I conclude it's coming from an infinite source, his qualities must be infinite as well. And they further require that all who come as guests to partake of that display should be there eternally and not suffer the pain of death and separation. So again, they further require that all who come as guests, so all beings, including us human beings, partake of that display, should be there eternally and not suffer the pain of death and separation. For just as the cessation of pain is pleasurable, so too is the cessation of pleasurable painful. So I think it is pretty understandable that although we seem to be coming here, our life here in this world is temporary. We are like the guests here. But as guests, we are being introduced and entertained to what the qualities that we are looking for, that we like, and that what we are, the ones we pay attention to as a conscious human being. And it should not really be for that I will be deprived. That is the real pain and death, that if I don't experience those qualities again, that is the real pain of death and separation. But as a human being, I look for those things. I want to experience them eternally. Partake of that display should be there eternally. That is what my duty, when I come here, what I learn in my life here in this universe that, hey, I'm not happy with the transient things, but I want something that is everlasting, that is eternal. And when I see that these qualities, whatever I'm enjoying, is coming from an owner that is infinite, then definitely all these qualities, even my existence, should not be just temporary. So my existence cannot be temporary, but I mean, if anybody else wants to add anything.
Well, people are thinking it's a very good point in terms of recognizing, like what I'm deciding on to what you said, recognizing that the human being is not satisfied with transient display or transient nature of this universe. And I think everybody knows that. Starting from 3 years old, right? Everybody knows that that we have a dislike for temporariness, transience, and so the one who's made me in this situation, let's call it the human condition, if you will, must definitely provide me with a solution for that. Otherwise, things just become purposeless. And I think in one of the previous words, the one on prayer, there was this verse from La Uhibbul Afilin, I love not those that said. That's just, I think, very prominent to reflect on. In terms of it's there with us, but I think we just need to recognize it in terms of it's not me producing this, it's not me, this not my cells that are producing this sense of disliking of transient things, but I'm made in such a way, and this is a call or an invitation or a message from the one that's presenting me the beautiful display in this universe to, again, recognize that all this that we are experiencing, all this that you're going through right now, this is a training for post-graduation. So like after we graduate from this universe. And it's sort of a little bit comforting as well. I think the previous page that sort of mentions also how recognizing this, like how things are coming into existence, points to an infinite source of generosity. And I think, like you were saying, us, and just reflecting more on it just helps us a little clarify the case of what we experience in this universe in a more enlightening way. Inshallah.
Inshallah. Thank you, Faria, for the comments. So I think let's continue and then we can come back to this. The next paragraph is also the fourth aspect. So as for concealed and peerless beauty, it too requires to see and be seen. So peerless beauty, or he says flawless, hidden perfection requires, the sentence, this flawless, hidden perfection requires one who will appreciate and admire it, who will gaze on it. Really like, wow, Allahu Akbar, Subhanallah, MashaAllah, those. Glory be to the one who's giving existence to these things. So it needs conscious admirers, the ones who are actually appreciating and seeing. So as for the concealed and peerless beauty, it too requires to see and be seen, or rather to behold itself in two ways. The first consists of contemplating itself in different mirrors, and the second of contemplating itself by means of the contemplation of enraptured spectators and astounded admirers. Hidden beauty wishes, then, to see and be seen. Hidden beauty wishes then to see and be seen, to contemplate itself eternally and be contemplated without cease. The beauty desires also permanent existence for those who gaze upon it in awe and rapture. For eternal beauty can never be content with a transient admirer. For eternal beauty can never be content with a transient admirer. Moreover, an admirer destined to perish without hope of return will find his love turning to enmity whenever he imagines his death, and his admiration and respect will yield to contempt. It is in man's nature to hate the unknown and the unaccustomed. Now everyone leaves the hospice of this realm very quickly and vanishes, having seen only a light or a shadow of the perfection and beauty for no more than a moment, without in any way being satiated. Everyone leaves the hospice of this realm very quickly and vanishes, having seen only a light or a shadow of the perfection and beauty for no more than a moment, without in any way being satiated. Hence, it is necessary that we should go towards an eternal realm where we will contemplate the divine beauty and perfection. All right, so this is an amazing aspect how the author is sharing. And there are like a few things I think we can discuss on. First of all, the beauty requires that there must be admirers. So if I have a painting, I make a painting and I hide it, I never display it, what good is that painting for? So it requires that, it has to be displayed. The first consists of contemplating itself in different mirrors. So the painting has to be displayed on a wall or in a museum somewhere, so that there are admirers, there are like spectators and who are curious and they're like, wow, they're wondering at the amazement of the art that is being displayed in that painting, right? That's why when you go to the museums and, they're like, people just get lost in looking in front of those paintings, and
Spend hours.
you can spend many hours, right? Exactly, over there, especially in Europe. It's very popular. And what about the beauty and the art in the whole universe? All those things we are interacting with. Do we ever wonder about the artist? And do we spend and lose ourselves in front of the art that we see in creation? Although it is there, this is what the art is being manifested, it's displaying itself in different mirrors. Every being, every creation is showing that art, is showing those qualities. But then it requires the contemplation of enraptured spectators and astounded admirers. I mean, what good is that art if nobody appreciates it, nobody looks at it? Right. It's like you worked on something, maybe you wrote a thesis and nobody reads it really. What good is that thesis for? Maybe 4 or 5 people read it and that's it. So imagine, the art and the work, the administration that happens in the universe, it's all capturing the admirer's attention. So hidden beauty wishes then to see and be seen. So different levels, layers of the beauty of perfection that human beings look at. When you look at the art, somebody may see some things that I have not seen. If you talk about them, they will share look, do you see that, this particular soft color here and the contrast it's making to the brightness, it shows the subtleness of how the change happens. They're like really different, so personally I did take a course in art history. So hidden beauty wishes then to see and be seen, to contemplate itself eternally and be contemplated without cease. To contemplate itself eternally and be contemplated without cease. So that beauty has to be there, manifest itself eternally, and has to be contemplated without cease. So continuously, nonstop. And that, of course, that's why this admirers, the beings, conscious beings, intelligent beings, cannot be only for this life. You cannot only admire for this life and then that's it, go to a dead end, but it has to be, it requires continuous contemplation, it requires continuous reading, requires continuous appreciation. It also, so beauty also desires also permanent existence for those who gaze upon it in awe and rapture. For eternal beauty can never be content with a transient admirer. This is pretty powerful. Eternal beauty can never be content with a transient admirer. Does anybody want to comment on something here or this particular phrase?
I think that, sorry, if anybody has their hand up.
Yeah, Brother Ali. Go ahead, Brother Ali.
I mean, in the just the kind of repetition what you said in the previous paragraph, you said demonstration in a nutshell. Demonstration. If something is demonstrated, it is in the nature of the creation and nature of human beings that it is expecting for appreciation. If it deserves to be appreciated, it must be appreciated for human beings, just to be honest to the truth out there, and also use their quality, because we are created with the sense of appreciation of the perfection demonstrated out there. But if the perfection is eternal, infinite, it was a wrong phrase. If the perfection is infinite, now the appreciation must be infinite as well. So if the demonstration is infinite, the appreciation must be eternal. That is why human beings need to be given the eternal permanent existence. Oh, I'm confusing with the word. Human beings need to be given the eternal, continuous existence, but in this world we don't have it. We don't really appreciate everything. For example, let's say the people who lived in 1,000 years ago, they didn't appreciate what this order of the universe includes in it. The telephone, the online technology, or the works of these computers and sky rockets and airplanes, and also what we know about the universe now was not known then. It means the eternal beauty, eternal perfection is in the universe, and they died away without really seeing them, appreciating them, although they were given the capacity to potentiality to appreciate it, but it wasn't really uncovered at that time. And also, I am wondering what will happen 1,000 years later in the universe, so that which kind of secrets this universe includes in its existence, so the qualities of the infinite being, beauty, perfection, Includes in what? I don't know. I'm sure I won't be able to see it before it is completely disclosed here. And I say it is contrary to the nature of my creation, the way I am created. I am given a very limited time. Those people who know that they are old, ask your grandparents and me as well. So I'm in the age of your grandpa. So ask me, what did you get pleasure of this universe? Did you really enjoy the infinite beauty here? Not at all, mixed with lots of troubles, problems, and also just a little bit. And time is so fast. It is gone. Everything is gone. And I'm now in despair that I have not enjoyed enough as my potentialities deserve to experience it. There must be definitely a permanent place where this infinite beauty is going to be presented to me and is going to be demonstrated in front of me, and my potentialities are going to, must be. It is a necessary existence that I must appreciate it. Otherwise, it would be the infinite beauty, infinite perfection, uh, eternal perfection, eternal beauty will be wasted in its demonstration. It is not appreciated. It is pointless. It is against wisdom. But we see that in the creation of the universe, that universe is created in a perfect, wise way. So the source of existence of this universe has perfect wisdom. It goes against, contradicts the wisdom in creation and also wisdom in the creation of human beings. I want to get the full satisfaction. That's what I am given, the need for full satisfaction. It's not here. I'm not getting it. And also the eternal beauty, infinite beauty, is not really appreciated as it deserves to be. Definitely, there must be another creation where this wisdom must be fulfilled. Otherwise, I am going to speak in a very freely way. Don't misunderstand me. I will be very angry with the perfect creator. I will say, look, you are contradicting yourself with giving me death in a very short time here without really getting the full appreciation of your infinite beauty and full satisfaction of my own human potentialities that you provided me with. It is full contradiction. What are you doing here? I will say, but of course, thank to the revelation, the revealing news from the creator of the universe, guaranteeing that definitely you will be returned to your God and get prepared for it, for the appreciation, continuing appreciation of your whatever you appreciated here. Continue in the next creation. If you didn't appreciate it, you really killed your potentiality. That is your choice. Take care of yourself. Thank you very much.
Alhamdulillah, thank you, Brother Ali, for sharing your comments, your thoughts, and explaining all this. And really, the eternal beauty can never be content with a transient admirer. I mean, it's really necessitates as a conscious human being going through these experiences and seeing how time is just passing by, it's flying. And as you gave the example of the previous generations not seeing all the complete beauty, but up to their whatever their time frame that they've been in this world, that's the time frame that you're given to appreciate. I mean, in terms of infinite, this particular limited time is just a moment. And I mean, okay, let's say you're happy for 10 years or 15 years. We compare that to infinite and how much what are we doing really? So just momentary satisfaction is not worth, and it's contradictory to eternal beauty. So eternal beauty necessitates that it must be continuous. And that requires that there must be another creation. There must be conscious beings, admirers for that appreciation of that eternal beauty at all times. I think we are at time right now, so if there's any other final comment anybody would like to make, and anything that anybody wants to share, now's the time. Otherwise, thank you very much. Inshallah, we'll continue with the fifth aspect next week. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma alamtana. Innaka anta al-alimul hakim wa akhiru da'wana walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Al-Fatiha.